Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Seddon Park for Friday night football. It's the Women's National League clash between the two unbeaten sides at the top of the competition, Western Springs against Eastern Suburbs. Well, it's been a busy week of football in the Women's National League. These two teams facing their third game in the space of just 7 days. And we expect this one to be an absolute cracker. Here's why. First playing second, Eastern Suburbs on a tremendous undefeated run. 7 wins from 7 games, 30 goals for, 6 against. Western Springs dropped 2 points in a 1-1 draw with Northern Rovers on Monday, and they will be keen to leapfrog Eastern Suburbs into top spot. For Suburbs, they could open up a 5-point gap. So let's take a look at how these sides line up for this evening's game. Starting first with Eastern Suburbs. A couple of changes here, 3 in fact. Charlotte Wilford-Carroll, Olivia Page and Devon Jackson are back in the starting lineup. Jade Paris, Amy Atkins and Ella Finlay are out. Paris and Atkins are on the bench, but Devon Jackson is a very, very welcome return. 12 goals in the Northern League. She bagged a hat-trick against Tauranga City and leads the line with Taylor O'Brien and Nicole Metum. For Western Springs, a couple of changes for coach Ryan Faithfull. The return of Angelique Tuisamoa to goals, with Keely Taylor dropping to the bench, and Anya Irvine also inserted into the starting lineup in place of the very impressive Lara Kolpe, who was in action at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup very recently. It's a strong-looking team, but they start just 2 points behind, and they are at home with much to do.
Number 13, Sam Taparu. Number 14, Jess Innes. Number 18, Emma Cronenberg. Number 26, Anya Irvine. Substitutes, number 1, goalkeeper, Keely Taylor. Number 22, Wildlife.
Well, the referees for this evening are led by Riley Greenbury. He's handled 2 matches for Western Springs in the Women's National League today. The 6-1 victory over Southern United on the 24th of September and a 3-0 win over Auckland United on the 1st of October. The assistant referees are Yunji Diao and Daniel Neville, and the 4th official is Samuel Clement. I'm Gordon Glenn Watson. I'll be describing the action for you this evening. Alongside me is friend and colleague, the former football fern, Maya Jackman. Maya, welcome. How do you see us playing out this evening? A big, big game for both teams.
Oh, massive, massive game. You know, both unbeaten. Yeah, as you said, Western Springs got that draw last week, so they dropped on Monday, so they dropped a couple of points. But you know, it's a home game for them, and they'll be really, really dogging to get a win over Eastern Suburbs today at home on their home turf. So I'm excited to see how this plays out for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I've been very impressed by the way these teams have lined up. Suburbs defeated Western Springs twice in the Northern League, 3-1 on the 22nd of April and 2-1 on the 19th of August. Sofia Garcia scored in both of those games, so too did Rena Hirano. And we're underway at Seddon Field. Eastern Suburbs playing in their away kit of yellow shirts and black shorts, black socks. Western Springs in their hoops. Tuisamoa. We were talking about the fitness of this Eastern Suburbs team before the match, and the work of the Eastern Suburbs fitness guru. Yeah, that's the word.
Sun Singh, he's. I'm sure he's got a twin because he pops up everywhere. Like I see him at Les Mills training people. He's training All Whites. He's training football ferns. He's very passionate about football, but he has a great philosophy. And I was talking to Rachel Head, and she said it's really great to have him as the S&C coach. Oh, cut out here.
Devon Jackson, that's a good ball chance for Suburbs. Oh, and that's not far away.
Yeah, she said he brings a level of professionalism to the club. You know, to have that person that only does their warm-up, only does their warm-down, does all their recovery and stuff, it's really important. And especially, you know, when they've had so many back-to-back games lately. Could prove to be the difference.
Yeah, this is the most number of games that any Women's National League has comprised, if we take into account the 21 games that were played in the Northern League, plus Kate Shepherd Cup matches. So the fitness of the players is utterly crucial. Here's Taylor O'Brien. Olivia Page arriving in the penalty box. Devon Jackson to O'Brien's header. Away by Innes. Hooked clear by Springs. Rachel Head competing for the ball. Aria Blackler. Now Wilford Carroll. Suburbs got out of jail on Monday with a 3-2 win away at Auckland United, who was somewhat under strength but gave a good account of themselves. But looked a tired performance, and 3 games in a week could be a factor this evening.
Oh, and Jackson. Oh, she's hit. Oh, very close to that far post. It's lovely to see Jackson back for Suburbs. She's been missing the last couple of games. Great run on by Jackson here. Goes to shoot. Second chance, just missing that corner.
It's interesting, we were talking about Jade Ulavili and how well she reads the game and the matches from last weekend. And she does lack a little bit of pace. Devon Jackson's very, very quick. Could be something to keep an eye on, because it will take Ulavili out of her comfort zone somewhat at times.
Yeah, she's going to have to really read the game very well to make up for that, because as you said, Jackson is very, very quick. And the movement of these players, Eastern Suburbs players, both in the midfield and the front, can just really bamboozle defenders.
Yeah, it's very important that Lily Jervis sees that too. Provides that cover. In fact, it's incumbent on the whole Western Springs back line.
Yeah, she's very solid. She's been very solid all season, Jervis, so she's really going to have to command that back line, make sure they're covering each other. If one pops out, one has to drop in.
Metum, lovely footwork from her. Shooter for Van Dort. Lines in the cross. It's not bad, away by Jervis. Now Metum. Eastern Suburbs lining up to take a pop here. Here's Wilford Carroll, good save. Excellent piece of goalkeeping by Tui Samoa. Lovely strike too.
Yeah, some lovely passes. Nicole Metum's foot skills here, just able to pop that out. Wilford Carroll, what a strike. That had to be saved, that one.
Nice strong wrist from Angelique Tui Samoa. They have a corner to defend. Eastern Suburbs swing it into the 6-yard box, and it flashes by the left-hand upright of the goalkeeper.
I think Van Dort was a little bit upset that she couldn't get something on there. It was a great corner in by Metum, I think.
And that was well played by Ulavili under pressure. Very aggressive press from Suburbs.
Garcia goes wider out to Takeda. Brockbena, yeah, looking to go long. Garcia, little turn there to open out, and ooh, that knee, if that had gone through. Great read by Blackler there. Been really impressed with Blackler in games that she's started. or when the game she's come on as well, she's really obviously made a name for herself and has now been starting.
She doesn't seem to give the ball away, is what I like about Aria Blackler's game. She's very thoughtful and considered before she releases a pass.
Yeah, looks very calm too at the back. Had a little sprinkle of rain just before this game, so it'll make this turf a little bit more slippery as well.
Yeah, I wonder which team that will suit, particularly as I was saying just a moment ago that if Western Springs are going to play a little bit of a high line, if Brooke Bennett's going to go long and they're going to flick these balls through, then you can have a foot race, which will suit Suburbs, trying to isolate the centre halves. Rachel Head, Blackler.
There's lots of room there for Eastern Suburbs. Right idea there. But, Suburbs seems to have a little bit more room to turn and play forward. Irvine to Ulavili. Suburbs pressing quite high. Takeda, Tafaru. Irvine. Suburbs really trying to press and make Western Springs make a mistake, but they're keeping hold of the ball. Harano.
Good work by Harano. She's got a great work ethic, both going forward and, as we saw there, trying to stop an attack. If you look at Harano's goal-scoring record in the Northern League, it's right up there alongside Garcia's, and you would be missing out on so much of her ability if you were to simply read the number of goals scored and drew an assumption based solely on that. She's very similar to Blackler, like so many of these players, comfortable on the ball. There's very defined, clear pattern of play, and each of these players is in the form of the year. Third in the Northern League and now runaway leaders of the Women's National League. That's Eastern Suburbs. Nice touch by Harano for Blackler. And Dawn to Page was impressive in the win over Auckland United at Keith A Park. She came on as a substitute. Here's Devon Jackson, takes it offline and blocked by Jervis. Good defending by Springs captain. Garcia. Well, that's cheaply given away, but she's got away with it.
Blackler just back to Bennett. Van Dort, they're playing a tight game here at the back. Tafaru. Painenberg. Oh, unlucky if that had gone through. They could have been in a spot of bother. Van Dort to Page looking forward. Devon Jackson always there to support. Lovely, oh, just cut out there by Takeda. All round the corner by Sam Tafaru looking for Harano. Picked up by Suburbs. And then given away again. Not quite on the same page.
Here's O'Brien, the run in behind by Jackson. Keepers off her line. Not able to get there, Tui Samoa. Now it's Olivia Page. Lovely footwork into the penalty box. Little give and go, chance for Suburbs. Good save by Tui Samoa. That point blank range, the shot was straight at her, but you still have to make that save. It's not easy. And Western Springs opened up for the first time. O'Brien rides the challenge robustly. Ball wide now for Erin Wong. Good run in behind by Eastern Suburbs, but it's back with Angelique Tui Samoa.
Yes, Paige, lovely bit of footwork there. Just pops it in, met him back to her. Good shot, but absolutely had to save that.
Yeah, it was a great move. Tafaru through with Brooke Bennett. It's now Rebecca Van Dort. Oh, and she's made a hash of that clearance. It almost fell to the feet of Sam Tafaru. That would have been a shock moment for this match, at least. Western Springs taking a lead. Moment of nerves by a player who's normally so calm and collected.
Yes, she realised she was the last man standing, tried to clear it. Rachel Head came back to give it a good clearance in the end. But yeah, just looked up at the last minute, I think, and lost sight of the ball. Tafaru bearing down on her. So it's a Western Springs corner. So Innes. And not able to capitalise on that corner for Western Springs. Really need to make something out of those, don't you, Gordon?
Yeah, it's an opportunity to put Eastern Suburbs under pressure after a moment of panic in their back line. And of course, if you can't keep that pressure up, then everybody breathes a sigh of relief and Suburbs can reset and go again. If we look at the two teams so far inside the first 14 minutes, Eastern Suburbs have been keen to try and press Western Springs right up into the 6-yard box, and we've only seen that sporadically from Springs themselves, but there's clearly evidence there that if they wanted to, they could make something happen from it.
Oh, little chip over. O'Brien not able to get ahead to that. Innes. Takeda Harano gets away from Blackler. She's got Tafaru on the inside, but well cut out by Wilfred Carroll. Unable to keep possession though, Suburbs. Western Springs looking to recycle. Takeda. Western Suburbs putting that pressure on, and it's come up dividends. Devon, Jackson, well taken off by Innes.
That's a good pass too.
Wilfred Carroll looking for O'Brien. Oh, and it's in! Through the legs of Tui Samoa. Taylor O'Brien, well received, picked her moment. So ball through from Wilfred Carroll. Taylor O'Brien cuts back, little left hand, unlucky. Tui Samoa gets down, but through the legs, 1-0 to Eastern Suburbs. That press that they've been doing really came up dividends in that goal.
Yeah, it made the game very transitional, didn't it? And we were talking about this on Monday when Emma Pynenberg was running at Northern Rovers, and it forced the defence, the Springs defence, to come off that 18-yard box. And once you do that, Taylor O'Brien spots the opportunity to go in behind, and the finish was deadly.
Garcia trying to reply with a shot well outside the 18-yard box. Metum not quite finding O'Brien. Jackson gets on the turn. Will she have a shot? Has a shot, but skies it. Good turn, though. Closely marked by her counterpart. Able to get the turn on and have a shot. Definitely the right idea.
Eastern Suburbs have got a lot of physical power. They've got a lot of physical power. We saw that with Charlotte Wilford-Carroll earlier, forcing that one-handed save out of Angelique Tui-Samoa. And there again, Devon Jackson, who rides this challenge and can't quite ride the second, shooting from distance, but it's well worth a go. It's team.
And they play lovely triangles, don't they? They'll just support players there. They can 1-2 off.
Van Dort, Olivia Page. Page keeps her run going, and Taylor O'Brien spots her. What can Page do here? Jervis goes to shut her down. Good defending from the Springs captain so far. Excellent play.
Well out there by Western Springs. Didn't panic. Found players close by and then cleared it when they could. Van Dort met him. Lovely ball through for Page. Who's there for Page? She'll cross it for Metum. Jervis just gets in the way. Brought down by Garcia, but picked up by O'Brien.
Olivia Page is tearing Western Springs apart down that right-hand side. She's just got so much power and energy and is relentless in trying to get behind the fullback. Each time she's played little give and goes with Nicole Metum and Taylor O'Brien and getting into space. I mean, they've created maybe 3 or 4 chances down that right-hand side.
Yes, and the Western Springs fullbacks like to push up quite high, so they're exploiting that with Olivia Page at times. Jackson putting the pressure on, gets the ball back inside to Wilford-Carroll, has a shot. Oof.
Not too far away. Eastern Suburbs are relentless this evening. 20th minute, and they lead by a goal to nil, but it could be maybe 1 or 2 more as we have a look at that shot from Charlotte Wilford-Carroll as it drifts by Angelique Tui-Samoa's left-hand upright. Rano's ball forward for Sam Tafaru.
Tafaru, Peinenberg, through to Irvine. Well cleared by Van Dort. So Brooke Bennett hasn't really been challenged so far by Western Springs.
No, the only problem Eastern Suburbs have really had is being self-inflicted when Van Dort cleared that ball rather shakily, and Brooke Bennett had come out to deal with a one-on-one and not quite got there. But Western Springs are suffering from this lily white wave of attacks which have been ongoing throughout this game. Here's Devon Jackson down the left-hand side. Players arriving in the form of Page and O'Brien in support. Erin Wong's there too. Metum. Blackler. Metum again. Space in between the lines for Jackson. She tried to play O'Brien. Possibility of another shot was on, but O'Brien's run was a seductive option, which he opted to explore. And there's another one. This time it's O'Brien for Jackson. She takes it in close, and it's hit the base of the post, I think. Dynamic. The Suburbs team is dynamic.
Here's Devon Jackson into the 18. Goes for the shot. Olivia Page may have been able to come in more central for a passing option for a shot.
Garcia for Pynenberg. Ishida snapping away at Pynenberg's heels. Now with Takeda, intercepted by Blackler.
Timu to Pynenberg. Irvine not seeing anything in front of her, but a nice 1-2 with Garcia. Tries to get the cross in, but there's Olivia Page up and down that right flank. So a corner for Western Springs. And hopefully this time they can make something of it.
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial that they beat the first player and get this ball into dangerous areas, see if they can exploit it and change the dynamic of the way this first 23 minutes has gone. That's a good ball. Oh, and it was Garcia who just missed out.
Timu Innes. Little flick through by Takeda. Easily cleared though by Van Dort.
There's a big difference when you compare the type of crosses that Western Springs are able to put into the box as with what Suburbs have been doing with Olivia Page down the right-hand side. These crosses from Irvine, she gets into good positions and can get a decent ball in, but so far Eastern Suburbs are winning all those headers. But at the other end of the park, it's far more direct, there's far more penetration from Eastern Suburbs, and they're getting into more dangerous positions. They're not having to worry about heading balls, or Western Springs heading balls clear. It's creating one-on-one shots for Tui Samoa to deal with.
Yeah, they're getting right into the box, aren't they, with their little 1-2 passes that they do. So as you said, they're not doing these long passes from the flank, they're getting right inside and behind that back line.
Jervis with speculator. Villavelli's drawn off the back line. Now it's with Takeda. Arano to Jervis. It's a good ball forward. Tawhara arrives with Rachel Head snapping away at her. Now Page. Van Dort.
Western Springs just not able to find that option up front at the moment. Trying those diagonal balls but getting cut out by Eastern Suburbs, who are in better, tighter positions to defend. But here we go, Pynenberg has a shot! That's a first test for Bennett tonight.
Well, there's two things to say about this. Number one, Brooke Bennett, we know, is very comfortable playing the ball out from the back. Number two, she made the save from that moment. So it's high risk, high reward, and sometimes it can be a punishment that comes with that approach to risk. But they're staying true to the way that they want to play, Eastern Suburbs. That's a decent ball in, and his first touch was slightly heavy. If I was Stephen Hall, I wouldn't mind that. We've seen so often, I would say Brooke Bennett maybe, and this is just, you know, reaching for statistics, but I would say maybe 3/4 of the time Brooke Bennett can play the ball out under pressure just fine. Every now and then it goes a little bit awry. But when your team is so fluid and dynamic and physically strong and quick, it's worth the gamble, right?
Yeah, definitely. Tawhara trying to turn Van Dort, but well defended. Van Dort has to hurry with that one, and it's pressure by Garcia That gets Springs throw in. Peinenberg. Wilfred Carroll looking for Wong, but Takeda and Hirano. Takeda well defended by Aria Blackler there. Tracked really well to get back and snuff out the presence of Takeda.
Yeah, it was very reminiscent of a week ago when Eastern Suburbs beat Auckland United 5-0 at William Green Domain. One of the features of Eastern Suburbs play that evening was not only how they went forward aggressively, but when they lost the ball, players coming back in numbers, trying to retrieve possession as soon as possible, because they've got that energy in them to be able to do it. And as we were saying about Aria Blackler with the ball, she's a very, very good player, but without it as well, she's showing just how valuable an asset she is to Stephen Hoyle and Eastern Suburbs.
Metum back to Van Dort. Head. Lovely touch from Metum. Lovely touch from Jackson. Cleared by Jervis, but not far enough. Well, Garcia able to get on top of that. What can Sam Tafaru do here?
That's well played by Rachel Head against striker who's much, much taller and maybe a bit stronger. She did that cleverly in the free kick. There's ball forward by Wilfred Carroll. Taylor O'Brien just keeps it in. Sizing up Irvine. Tried to go through the legs with a cheeky wee Meg there.
Van Dort looking to get the ball in. As far as Jervis, well cleared. Rano. Taitimu.
Nice first touch by Taitimu under pressure.
Oh, little flick on there by Tafaru for Harano, but Brooke Bennett, as you said, playing that deep defender almost. Able to clear that. Oh, lovely ball through for Devon Jackson. Has a little shot. Oh, lovely place there by Devon Jackson. Nice little side foot. Pass to Isamoa. 2-0 Eastern Suburbs. Some enthusiastic Eastern Suburbs crowd there tonight.
And why not? Look at the finish. Great run by Devon Jackson to get the better of Jervis in the finish. Very calm, picked her spot, waited for the keeper to come out, and then made it 2-0. Eastern Suburbs well worth their advantage. Western Springs could be in big trouble this evening. Well, they are in big trouble. 2-0 down at home. And it's a scoreline that will interest everybody at Northern Rovers. An opportunity emerging this week, this weekend, for them to cut that advantage that Western Springs have in the league table.
Taitimu playing back, finding Ulavili across to Jervis. Pressure by Jackson means that Wong picks it up. Lovely little turn by Jackson, finds Wong. A little bit of a wayward pass, but advantage played by the ref. Jackson, lots of room for Jackson to turn and look forward to find O'Brien. Page in there. Oh, that was worth a crack.
Springs are struggling. They're struggling to keep up. with the energy that Eastern Suburbs have got. We saw, it's an interesting observation actually, a week ago against Auckland United in that 5-0 win, Eastern Suburbs were firing on all cylinders from minute 1 to 90. Then on Monday, the performance dipped a little bit. They were 2-0 down against a slightly improved and resourced United team, but they still came back to win 3-2 without having to play so great. But tonight, they're back up there in terms of the quality of the performance.
Yes. Well, that had to be done by Ulavili. Otherwise, Jackson was one-on-one with the keeper. Yeah, I was talking to Rachel Head, and she said it's the show. It shows just how dedicated they are to each other to come back from being 2-0 down to then go back and win 3-2. She said they were all pretty tired, but yeah, just the belief that they have in themselves at the moment, and you know, that would have picked them up alone doing that on a fatigued game.
Yeah, look, I mean, if you're a team that's trying to win things, and you can win those games when you're not playing to your optimum, that's a great asset, that's a great quality to possess. And here they are, certainly in the driver's seat now, looking at potentially an 8th win in a row. And Western Springs just can't seem to get near them this evening. If we look back to the Northern League, the way that finished, Western Springs, after 21 games, managed to get 43 points. Suburbs finished one place behind them, 2 points adrift on 41 points. So it's been an incredible turnaround by Eastern Suburbs.
He's peaking at the right time.
Yeah, and look, we mentioned Sun Singh, right? I mean, it's the players, of course, first and foremost, and what they've done, and also the work of Stephen Hoyle and his coaching team. But you add that extra element of quality and knowledge and experience, and the performance level goes to the next stage. And that's what we've seen over the last week. Well, we've seen it over the last 7 or 8 games.
Taparu dispossessing Wilfred Carroll, but picked up by Blackler again. Finding Devon Jackson facing forward. Lovely little run there by Taylor O'Brien. And you've got Page. Oh, so close. It was a great build-up, right idea.
Well, Irvine did very well there because she's playing wide, and she spotted the danger and tucked in nice and tight, so it cut that pass out that's looking to split the centre half and the fullback. Here's Wong. Small deflection. Emma Peinenberg picks up the scraps. Nowhere to go, though.
Yeah, can only look back at the moment. Hirano. Back to Hirano. There's just yellow all around them. They can't get out.
Yeah.
Ulavili to Irvine. Nice little first touch, but not able to pick Jess Innes out. Unfortunately, picked up again by Suburbs. Oh, nice little flick down through. O'Brien cuts into the 18-yard. Cuts it back. Who's there? Oh, met him.
Good defending by Springs. Had to be, or it was 3-0. Great work by Taylor O'Brien getting the better of Irvine. Got her head up to have a look what was on. Beautiful ball in, and just at the right moment, Jess Innes made sure that Nicole Metten didn't have a free shot at goal, but that could have been 3-0. And with 10 minutes shy of half-time. Page.
Oh, look at the pace on Olivia Page. Oh, but there you go. Ulavili timing that one perfectly.
Yeah, we've seen that twice in just the last couple of minutes from Ulavili in terms of defending, but again, there's no ball going forward. It's just Sam Tafaru. The wide players for Springs and hardly featured.
And all that hard work by Ulavili and just not quite getting that pass off.
Yep, they're just unable to connect their passes. Western Springs, it's looked rather flat. I mean, albeit against a team that's firing on all cylinders. Tafaru.
She's got not a lot of support, soon enough. She has to hold that ball up, and then Eastern Suburbs can set up and defend really tightly, and again get the ball back through. Oh, but Irvine through to Garcia, puts the cross in. Cut out by Blackler, not far enough, but enough to disrupt their attack. And Metum looking forward. O'Brien. And Wilfred Carroll out to Wong.
Western Springs are just hanging on to Eastern Suburbs' coattails because they're going at such a relentless pace. Even when that ball got played into Aria Blackler was disappointed it wasn't the clearance she wanted to give.
Yeah.
But it was actually a great piece of defending. Those are the standards that this Suburbs side have set for themselves, and Jackson trying to barge her way through Western Springs. I think that was Jervis who eventually cleared it.
Yeah, the ever solid Jervis. Taitimu, but only as far as Van Dort.
At the moment, Maya, I get the feeling that if Eastern Suburbs want this to be a big scoreline, they can get it.
Yeah, I feel.
Spring's shape is fragmented.
Yeah, they're getting pulled so wide, and when they do get the ball, there's no one there to pass to in the midfield. Tafaru's too far away. Garcia looking at nothing. There's just nothing to see forward. Not a lot of movement from Springs. Nice little ball, but unable to be controlled by Takeda. Tafaru. Heinenberg out to Irvine, but she can't get it, and that's the state of Western Springs tonight, isn't it? They can't get on top of the passes, they can't connect with their passes.
Well, I wonder what Ryan Faithful is going to be thinking in terms of changes, because changes need to be made. That's absolutely critical, I think, as O'Brien finds space and Irvine just got in the nick of time to prevent Taylor O'Brien sizing up another shot. If we look at this bench, it's Celia Mayo and and Lara Colby. I was a bit surprised to not see Colby there, but given the recent workload she's been under, perhaps it was in the mind to give her a break. But Western Springs could sure use some help here. Suburbs looking good.
Jackson has a shot from out wide, but a little bit high and wide. No problem for Tui Samoa. Eastern Suburbs still putting on a press, not really letting Western Springs out. Harano, yeah, lovely defending by Aria Blackler. Lovely feat by Taylor O'Brien, but Taitimu able to disrupt her. Heinenberg, lovely little turn.
Well, it was Taylor O'Brien was looking at Nicole Metum, but Metum had come in from an offside position, which meant she had to try something special herself to undo the Western Springs defence. She's got a sharp mind, Taylor O'Brien. There's more to her game than just a bit of power, finishing, and skill set. Like, you have to really think about the space that you're occupying and the space that your teammates have also just occupied.
She's very passionate about coaching as well, so she has that coaching mind set. She's really keen to impart and be a role model for the younger Eastern Suburbs girls coming through.
You always know when you're playing in a team just which of your teammates are likely to go on to become coaches. There's always an academic in the dressing room that seems to have thoughts and opinions that differ from everyone else. You perhaps shouldn't be surprised to hear from you that Taylor O'Brien's one of those, because certainly in that small moment she showed us that
she's got a good
big picture view.
Football brain on her. Garcia just able to get it through to Heinenberg. Oh, nice little ball through for Hirano. Has she got anyone there with her? Oh, so close. That shaved the post almost. She had to take that shot because there was no one coming through. Tāwharu was just a little bit off the pace. See her coming on. It was a very narrow angle. Almost, though, a pullback for Western Springs. Lovely ball through from Heinenberg.
Well, they really needed that to go in. They desperately needed that to go in. If they could have gone in at half-time with just a goal in this game, then an opportunity to regroup and have a look at things, and then really go at Eastern Suburbs in the second half and see how they respond to a bit of pressure for almost the first time in this match.
Heinenberg through for Tāwharu, but Van Dort able to get herself in between player and ball. Is that? Looks like Devon Jackson back there, so that shows the work rate of these Eastern Suburbs players. They're all over the place, but in the right places also. Long ball through for Metum, not quite able to control that one. Irvine finds Ulavili. Well defended by Eastern Suburbs to make her go back the same way they came. Already congested.
Yeah, they've just blocked all the passing channels.
Yeah.
You know, that makes life very difficult for Western Springs. Erin Wong cutting off that inside channel, forcing the mistake, and Suburbs have the ball again.
Innes through to Hirano.
Oh, lovely skill.
Finding Tāwharu.
Heinenberg's in the box. Oh, and she was just out of reach of the cross. It was a very good cross. But again, Western Springs have not yet landed the punch that they're seeking to half the deficit. 45 minutes almost up. Western Springs 0, Eastern Suburbs 2.
Van Dort asking for players. Come on, I need someone. Eastern Suburbs just winding this one down before the half. And there you have it.
No additional time. I think that's a first in my commentating career. Bit of triv as Riley Greenbury brings that half to a close, and it's a half that has belonged almost exclusively to Eastern Suburbs. A goal for Taylor O'Brien on 15 minutes. Devon Jackson doubled the lead on the half-hour mark, and it is the Lily Whites that lead Western Springs here at Seddon Park by 2-0. More to come very shortly.
Time here at Western Springs. Score Suburbs 2, Springs 0.
Honestly, don't think I've ever seen no additional time.
Really?
Edison. Wayward pass, Hirano intercepts that occasion. Garcia, Hirano now, one-on-one. Here's Hirano. Oh, great footwork. And it's
yeah.
And it's a goal from Hirano.
Oh man, it was funny.
Well,
it wasn't funny.
Thought that one may get away from her, but she did choose to find the back of the net on that occasion. Rina Hirano. A bit of pressure playing off for Western Springs. Good pressure too from Jackson. Here she is again. The second chance, and it's a goal. Suburbs have struck straight back against Northern Rovers this afternoon. Devon Jackson. One-on-one with Uda really does well. And on target, what a strike. Petra Buick. Fantastic strike. What a run from the substitute. Thoroughly deserved too. She's been quite like a star for Canterbury since she's been on, trying to force things. What a fantastic strike by her. Settle again. Yoshida again opens her body up so well. Allows her to play that one first time. A shot from Yoshida, and it's a goal. Michaela Foster could not get that to that one. It's Saki Yoshida. The third goal for Eastern Suburbs this afternoon. Well worked goal from Yoshida.
Oh, lovely turn. That's beautiful from Painenberg. And she released the pass. She does to Colby. Best football of the match so far. To the edge of the penalty area. And that is the best goal of the match. And that is superb. Tāwhuru with the finish. But beautifully crafted. And it all started with Emma Painenberg. What a turn in midfield. And releasing Colby, and again she found a teammate with the cross.
Here's a confirmation of just who is leading in the top goal scorer race. No surprise here. Taylor O'Brien with 11 goals. Eastern Suburbs, Kelly Brown 4 adrift with 7 of Northern Rovers, and Rina Hirano, Devon Jackson, each with 6. Western Springs and Eastern Suburbs. And some very talented players in this list. Maya.
Yeah, you've got Michaela Foster on 4, and now she's out of this competition now, so I would have liked to have seen how far she would have gone with some goal scoring now that she's at Wellington Phoenix, so congratulations to Mickey Foster. And Pepe Oliver Bell doing well for Capital Football. Great little, well, tall actually. Tall but fast, and scoring some goals for Capital.
Well, some massive football coming your way in the National Women's League. Round 7, Auckland United taking on Central Football. An opportunity for United to try and cut the deficit if Western Springs' situation here doesn't change. That's Sunday, 2:30 p.m, live on Sky Sport Next at Keith Hay Park.
City are both lucky, but they still give possession away. So shooting opportunity, deflection, just hits the post, and on the rebound they scored early. This is a stunning opening from Birkenhead, and it's their captain Sam Burfoot who scores, and it seems incredible after just 3.5 minutes to say that it's been coming, but it has.
Cool, and Raboku managed to find his way past one opponent. Got Wilkinson just to his left, who's lined up the shot. Oh, that's a fine finish! What a goal by Eddie Wilkinson. Set up by Raboku. Christchurch back in business.
And here is Tade with Howison sweeping forward. This is looking likely here for Auckland City. Now it's an early ball in, and there is the goal, beautifully done. Ryan de Vries opens the scoring. Superb combinations from the attacking trio.
Dylan Hobson with the corner kick. Flipped into the near post, and it's won by Birkenhead, and it's in the back of the net. It's Dino Bonica. The home side sees the initiative just before the hour mark, to the delight of the Shepherds Park crowd. Gully onto the right foot, beautiful pass. Jack Henry Sinclair's onside.
Nice goal.
That's a brilliant finish by Jack Henry Sinclair. One of the most exciting players in the National League Championship. And Wellington Olympic double the lead.
Tade, heavy first touch, maintains possession. Tade, near post, what an equaliser! Emi Tade, you are a magician.
Well, some great players, some great entertainment, some great goals, and the National League Championship top goal scorer leaderboard is led jointly by two players from Wellington Olympic, Gianni Bazoukas and Jack Henry Sinclair, each with 4. Garvin Coughlin of Kashmir Technical has 3, and the veterans Ryan de Vries and Emiliano Tade of Auckland City FC, 2 goals apiece. Eddie Wilkinson and Hiroyoshi Kamata have 2 goals as well from Christchurch and Auckland United respectively. Here's how the National League Championship looks. A familiar look to it. Auckland City FC at the top of the table, 3 wins and a draw, 10 points. Wellington Olympic have been in top form. 3 wins in a row has lifted them into second. Auckland United and Birkenhead not far off the pace, sitting in 3rd and 4th. And the Dominion Road Derby takes place tomorrow. That's Auckland United hosting Auckland City FC. That's going to be one to keep an eye on. Live on Sky Sport Next tomorrow, 3 o'clock. The only team to beat Auckland City FC this season is Auckland United. They won 2-0 back on the 3rd of September, and they'll be looking to repeat that and put pressure on teams in 1st and 2nd. 2 spots available for that National League Championship Grand Final. Who will occupy it come December the 3rd? We'll find out.
Well, thought that one may get away from her, but she did choose to find the back of the net on that occasion. Rina Hirano, a bit of pressure playing off for Western Springs.
And here is Tade with Howison sweeping forward. This is looking likely here for Auckland City. Howison early ball in, and there is the goal, beautifully done. Ryan de Vries opens the scoring. Superb combinations from the attacking trio. It takes one moment of brilliance and everything can change again. And this is looking better. Nice little play here. This is beautiful from Birkenhead. And just as I talk, up the Miramar Rangers defence, Birkenhead United break it down, and Alex Connor McLean has got Birkenhead United's 2nd goal, and it was a cracker.
Pressure 2 from Jackson. Here she is again. The 2nd chance, and it's a goal. Suburbs have struck straight back against Northern Rovers this afternoon. Devon Jackson.
Gully onto the right foot, beautiful pass. Jack Henry Sinclair's onside.
Nice goal.
That's a brilliant finish by Jack Henry Sinclair. One of the most exciting players in the National League Championship. And Wellington Olympic double the lead.
And that is tough to keep doing that
That's why it's so important to score when you get those chances.
Oh, and there is the goal at the other end of the pitch, and it's Adam Mitchell. What a last and dramatic 5 minutes we have just seen here at Kiwi Tia Street. Adam Mitchell shrugging free of his marker.
Suburbs can settle again. Yoshida again opens her body up so well. Allows her to play that one first time. A shot from Yoshida, and it's a goal. Michaela Foster could not get that to that one. And Saki Yoshida, the third goal for Eastern Suburbs this afternoon. Well worked goal from Yoshida.
Not let it rattle in, and here's a chance for them made it ice it. Great ball, and they have iced it. Well, the visitors are going to steal the win here. Dane Schnell has got the fourth goal, and it was a beauty as well.
Gould goes forward, and now it's Randall with an opportunity to redeem himself, and oh, it's off the underside of the bar. Now Bazooka scores, and it's 3-0 to Wellington Olympic. And just a moment ago, where Bazookas was shaking his head in disappointment, he's now congratulating Randall. And Wellington Olympic in total control at Gower Park.
Devon Jackson again, what can she do to put a nail in the coffin? Surely.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
There it is. Devon Jackson, hat-trick for Eastern Suburbs. What a performance she has had today.
Welcome back to Seddon Field, everybody. Half-time. Western Springs trail Eastern Suburbs by 2-0, courtesy of strikes by Taylor O'Brien and Devon Jackson. Long way back for Western Springs, Maya. What do they need to do?
Yeah, it's a very happy Eastern Suburbs there waiting to go on, but yeah, they're just so many little aspects of the game that they could tighten up to make a difference. So making sure your passes hit. They're getting really spread by Eastern Suburbs when they're attacking, and then when they get the ball back, they've got no one to go to. So they're really spread thin in the middle, and then Eastern Suburbs just picks it up again. That lovely little goal there by Taylor O'Brien. But yeah, Western Springs just looking at sorts. Here's Devon Jackson, just missing on that occasion, and this is Pynenberg having a great shot. And this is Devon Jackson on the run, places it very nicely into that corner. Little side footer, beating Tui Samoa to make it 2-0 for Eastern Suburbs. But again, with Eastern Suburbs, so close for Metum there. And this is Hirano screaming down on the right-hand side, has to make a tight shot, almost makes it, but as you said, that would have been a really good lift for Western Springs if they could have got that, Gordon.
Yeah, look, I've been effusive in my praise of Eastern Suburbs' performance, but it hasn't been flawless. There's been a couple of moments that Western Springs have had a sight of goal. Brooke Bennett's clearance that fell to Pynenberg. There was also that shot just before half-time that had it hit the back of the net, then it was game on again. But it's almost as if Western Springs are needing, these snookers to stay in touch with Eastern Suburbs. They need a lucky break, or they need a player to step up and do something just out of the ordinary with a bit of quality to maybe put a bit more pressure on Suburbs. And it could be this player, number 25, Lara Colpe, who's being thrust into the action for the second half. She'll get 45 minutes to try and pull her team back into this game.
Yeah, she's a lovely little player, isn't she? We saw her on Monday, and her, her passing, her knowledge of where that pass should go, her knowledge of where her runs should go. Just really, really impressive, and not a wonder that she's been in India with the under-17s. Perhaps having a little break in the first half, but let's see if she can inject some sort of something into the Western Springs team to make a comeback from this very strong Eastern Suburbs team tonight.
Yeah, and it can't all be Colby, right? It's got to come from the rest of the team too. They've got to click into action, and maybe this next 10 or 15 minutes give Eastern Suburbs absolutely what for, and see if they can come up with a lifeline back into the game.
Jervis looking long for Colby, but cleared by Aria Blackler. Heinenberg to Taitimu. Goes in for an Eastern Suburbs throw-in. Can't quite see beyond the beyond the dugouts there, but a little bit of time.
If you're thinking about playing summer football, there is a wonderful ad there.
Put down by Wong, but Taitimu. Tafaru. Blackler. Back through to Jess Innes. Garcia finds Takeda. Looking for Harano. Dispossessed by Yoshima.
Well, a little bit better from Western Springs. They're trying a few things. Garcia's taken up a more central position and now looks to join in. Chance for Garcia. Straight at the keeper. But Bennett more than capable of dealing with that shot.
Garcia, a little bit of pressure from Olivia Page. So couldn't quite get any power behind that. Devon Jackson gets a little touch off to Wilfred Carroll, has a shot. Oh, it is a shot and a half. Wilfred Carroll. That's a sucker punch right there for Western Springs. It looked like they had some type of momentum, but a little touch by Devon Jackson. Brilliant touch. And what a left-footed rocket by Wilfred Carroll.
Yeah, it was fantastic. This is what Eastern Suburbs can sometimes do. They can go very direct, and you could see the strength of Devon Jackson, the quality of her touch. And Ulaveli had come out with her. She once again pulled out of that back line, and it allowed for that space just in behind. And the quality finish from Charlotte Wilfred Carroll really has put Western Springs firmly on the floor. 3-0 Eastern Suburbs lead. Perfect start to the second half for Stephen Hoyle and his team.
Takeda, Garcia, nice little 1-2, but picked up easily by Van Dort. Olivia Page met him. Recycling here by Eastern Suburbs, nowhere to go forward, so just going back, resetting through Aria Blackler, Wong into Yoshida.
Well, it's tough for Western Springs now. This situation has got right out of hand. I'm going to guess that's a free kick.
Need some x-ray vision at the moment.
Not with these bifocals, Maya. Telling you, that's just pure guesswork on my part.
God, my eyesight's not even any better. Wilfred Carroll, little touch through to Metum, who finds Jackson but is offside. Sounded like a Jeremy Rowan.
And I think the other voice is Bonnie Jansen, but parochial. It was great to see. Passionate about her club and what they're doing, and why not? 3-0 to the Eastern Suburbs side, and thoroughly deserved thus far.
O'Brien finds Jackson only as far as Jess Innes. Long ball through, a little bit too far, well, a lot too far for Tawharu. Bennett has no problem with that. And Eastern Suburbs happy to play out. Page.
That third goal's such a psychological blow for Western Springs. You know, you set yourself up with that shot. Lovely worked move. And Garcia's shot goes straight at the keeper, and within 30 seconds of that, you're 3-0 down. Possibilities here, though, on this counter-attack. Rachel Head goes over to deal with it, and Pynenberg arrived late, but Yoshida read the play.
Garcia looking for Harano.
Not offside. Throw for Springs. They need a response. They need to score the next goal, I think, to stay in the game.
Yeah, 2-0's always a dangerous score to be ahead by, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can sort of relax a bit, but obviously Eastern Suburbs don't have that mindset. Heinenberg. Taylor O'Brien was like, what was wrong with that? bit of a friendly tussle. Devon Jackson biting at Pynenberg's heels. Pynenberg does well to keep her off, but she needs some support.
Great skill from Pynenberg. Don't see Blackwood beaten like that too often. And that is, you make a great point that Eastern Suburbs are so in control in terms of the scoreline, the performance, but the question mark now is, do they keep the blowtorch on hot or not?
Wilfred Carroll again, giving that left foot a bit of a blast. Brains from Wellington, was the Wellington Girls High School captain and went to the last under-20s World Cup, so she's a talented player, got 32 minutes at the World Cup. Here's Kolpe, what can she do? Looking forward, nice little ball through to Harano. What can Harano do? Oh, Bennett!
What a save that is!
What a save, just that left arm.
Eastern Suburbs were totally opened up here, and look at this save, wow! Bennett was going right, saved with the left hand. That is quality goalkeeping.
Need to go and high five either for that one.
Oh,
I
no,
think,
that was,
I think Walnick's going in for the
yeah,
well done.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
But Kolpe already making a difference for Western Springs. Nice little ball through to Harano, easily taken there by Bennett. Much easier than the shot she just blocked.
That was one of the best saves I've seen this season in all forms of National League. He would have backed the player to score, Rena Harano. Mistake by Yoshida. Here's Kolpe. Well, the other way to look at it from Western Springs' point of view is that you're 3-0 down. You can throw caution to the wind and take more risks, push higher.
Takeda. Tawharu finds Kolpe. Kolpe pushes forward. She'll cut it through. Oh, so close for Harano. Oh, Bennett again. She's on fire.
Well, Eastern Suburbs under all sorts of pressure, and Western Springs playing without fear and with very little left to lose, and they're asking questions. The goalkeeper so far has answered all of them.
Right, Timu through to Kolpe. Innes. Rano just trying to chip that one through. Yeah, here's Kolpe, drives through, puts a lovely cross. Oh, Head just got a foot into that.
Yeah, save and a ball cleared off the line. Eastern Suburbs have switched off just a smidgen, and Western Springs can sense they may be able to exploit that. That's Yoshida.
Met him. Lovely ball through to Jackson. Jervis able to clear that one up. Jackson looking for something. No quick throw on to be able to be taken. Wong finding Wilfred Carroll. Wong again. Met him dancing around. Wong puts the ball in. Ooh.
Marking was a bit strange by Western Springs. Taylor O'Brien was well through there, just a metre or so away from making contact with the football. Here's Innes. Lofted ball forward is headed clear by Blackler. Jackson for Yoshida. Now Olivia Page on the right-hand side. Van Dort to Bennett.
Nicely taken by Taitimu. But position back with Eastern Suburbs. Nice little round the corner by Metum through to Jackson. Cut out by Jervis, had to be. Not a good clearance there by Takeda. Olivia Page on it now. Taylor O'Brien cutting into the box. Who can she find? Just the hands of Tui Samoa. Fun fact about Taylor O'Brien, knows sign language.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. Had a pretty bad knee injury in 2018, so is also on that, we said before, on the coaching ladder, but a lot of these Eastern Suburbs girls are, which is great, seeing them putting back into the game. And Eastern Suburbs has a strong club that has a pathway for everything. Wilfred Carroll. Wong not quite having the legs to get on the end of that one from Wilfred Carroll. Taitimu dispossessed by Devon Jackson, running at goal. Oh, lovely little chop back to beat Jervis, but easily picked up by Tui Samoa.
Garcia. Peinenberg. This game's starting to open up more. Plenty of space in midfield for players to get on the ball.
Friendly little tussle there between Wilfred Carroll and Peinenberg. Jess Innes on the ball. Looks to be a left hand curl into the box. Who's there? Van Dort, cleared by Van Dort, but picked up by Springs. Innes tries to get the better of O'Brien, but O'Brien too strong. Harano tracking back, trying to settle it for Western Springs.
Yoshida. Olivia Page. Wilfred Carroll. Western Springs trying to press, but Eastern Suburbs very, very comfortable on the ball. They're very, very comfortable under pressure. And with a 3-goal buffer, they're holding all the aces. Met him. Great run by O'Brien. It was a very good pass, and Jervis very watchfully helps it out. Just looking at that Eastern Suburbs bench with Jade Paris, Amy Atkins, Zoe Benson. You know, they've got a lot of talent on there that can re-energise and lift Eastern Suburbs to, well, to maintain or go one level better in the dying stages of the match.
Yes, I'm sure we'll see a few of them come on at some point. Timu finding Peinenberg. Lovely ball through for Harano, but unable to capitalise on that. But they really do need to just sort of start throwing a little bit more at it, don't they? They're 3-0 down. You don't want your goalkeeper tripping over their over their shoelaces, do you?
Not at all. So a substitution coming up for Eastern Suburbs. We understand Amy Atkins will join the fray for Erin Wong. So we will get to see Atkins and Page on opposite sides in an attacking sense for Eastern Suburbs. Here's O'Brien. Jervis goes to close it down. Well done, the Springs captain. Corner for Suburbs. Corner kick goes to the far post. Tui Samoa eager to get on with it.
Yep. Timu. Is that substitution that we were talking about? Erin Wong took a bit of a hit to the head in the last game, so maybe not having as good a game as she would have liked, perhaps. Very good player though, but also Amy Atkins coming on, just as good as a player. Very dynamic.
Be interested to see if Erin Wong had played all 90 minutes of those two previous matches, because if she has, she will have played 240 minutes consecutively over the past 7 days.
A bit of a stalwart for Eastern Suburbs, Erin Wong, and her mum, who's the manager, Sue. Lovely, lovely family. I used to coach Erin. She always had a grin on her face, so I nicknamed her Grinner.
Erin's mum always says hello to me in the media tribune at North Harbour Stadium. It's, we have a short chat about football.
Yeah, big footballing family. Big brother Ernest. Oh, here we have Harano. Crosses it. Asking a lot of Garcia there, though. Needed to be on the ground.
Brooke Bennett invited her to go right across the right-hand side as well. There was a lot of goal to aim at.
Yeah, just that ball along the 6-yard box for Garcia on the floor would have been really, really good.
That's been the big difference. There's a lot of differences tonight, but Western Springs have had moments. If this had happened, if that had happened, and those things haven't gone their way, and that opportunity to pull themselves back into the game has just passed them by, because it's just required just a little bit of either a little bit of luck or a little bit of quality under pressure, and they just haven't been able to deliver on those moments this evening. And I wonder how much Monday took out of them.
Yeah.
As well, because they fell behind to Northern Rovers and then hit back straight away, but it was almost as if they had to go 1-0 down to then hit back, and then there was nothing left for that last half hour, 20 minutes or so. And tonight just might have been too big an ask. Charlotte Wilford Carroll, lovely touch by Yoshida. Page, run forward by O'Brien. Page surging forward, opening up space on the inside for O'Brien. Wilford Carroll's there, O'Brien doesn't need her. Atkins. Blackler. Oh, a sloppy pass from Blackler. Hirano can surge forward. Tafaru to her right. She goes past Van Dort, but that's good covering by Rachel Head. Excellent understanding between Van Dort and Rachel Head.
Yeah, great little centre back, Rachel Head. Always been really solid, consistent player for years now.
Here's a chance for Suburbs through Metam. Wonderful defending by Jervis, threw a body at the ball right at the last moment. Now Page, cut out by Innes. Straight back to Yoshida. Western Springs are on the ropes.
They just can't find their passes to their players, being cut out by Eastern Suburbs.
Yeah, the legs must be heavy too.
So when you're on the defense for that long, you just get tired and tired. Decision making becomes not so great. O'Brien finds Atkins, crosses it.
Oh,
O'Brien! What a well-worked goal between O'Brien and Atkins. Superb goal. Lovely cross in by Atkins. As you see here, right in that spot where the keeper does, do I go, do I stay? O'Brien timed that perfectly. Here we are now, 4-0. It's a bit of a nail in the coffin for Western Springs. How do they answer this now?
Well, it's almost damage limitation, because there's still plenty of time for Suburbs to keep adding goals here. But what a cross. This is what I like about Amy Atkins' game. I said this last Friday. When you're running into a 6-yard box, you want a cross that's hit perfectly, crisply, with power, and all Taylor O'Brien had to do was just make sure she made contact. It's not staying out of the net. We've seen so many other types of crosses this evening that were soft, or there's some uncertainty in the decision making, but not with Amy Atkins. It's like, boom, in it goes. Bang, goal.
So Olivia Page will come off and Zoe Benson will come on. It's an under-17 swap for an under-17 swap. both in India earlier on, not that long ago. Scored a lovely goal against Auckland United in the last game. Takeda looking for something up front, but no movement really happening for her, and they just run into Suburbs traffic. Here's Zoe Benson. Tafaru for Kolpe. What can Kolpe do? Oh. Unlucky for Kolpe. Bennett asking her team to go forward so she can go long. Get the show on the road.
Well, look, they've been able to capitalise off one or two of those long balls. You know, Devon Jackson's very good at receiving a ball under pressure from aerial delivery and can open up space in behind, particularly if she can draw a defender to her. And as we've seen this evening so often, Eastern Suburbs are absolutely electric when they get in behind like they have here. And the flag goes up. Jackson has the ball in the net. But that's not going to count. I think that was a timely moment for what I just said. But
lovely little ball through by Zoe Benson for Devon Jackson, but offside. Well finished by Devon Jackson, by the way.
Yeah, she's very good. Very good finisher. This is good from Western Springs, though. Here's Kolpe, Blackler in tow. Good ball across, and the finish from Garcia. Not on target, but that's much better from Western Springs.
Yeah, Kolpe. What a cross. Right on that 6-yard box. But that pressure from Suburbs on Garcia meant that she wasn't able to get her head over it.
Might have been better to go with the left foot rather than the right if it's coming across you and you're under pressure from a defender. But it was a great ball in by Kolpe. It's exactly the type of pass that I was talking about from Amy Atkins. Here's Pynenberg. Kolpe tries one. Good save. And
Kolpe.
A chance.
Well done by Kolpe. It's definitely made an impact as she's come on for Western Springs today. That'll give them a little bit of a lift. They've shown some signs in the second half that they can score. They've just got to be very clinical in front of goal. Still got a good amount of time as well.
I think if there's one takeaway from this game for Western Springs, it's that when they play Eastern Suburbs, Kolpe's got to start, I think. I'm sure there's logical reasons why Kolpe didn't, but this is what she can do. Brooke Bennett showed her too much of the goal and recovered, but Kolpe was there. Delivering the clinical finish that Western Springs have lacked over the course of the 74 minutes tonight. So a change coming up. Tai Timu out and Celia Mayo in. Lily Tai Timu. She's had a couple of good games this week.
Yeah, very consistent player, Tai Timu.
It's one of those players that very rarely gives the ball away.
Yep.
They're hard to find.
another futsal player in Taitimu. So there's quite a lot of them in this National League. And the skill set that they have through playing futsal that they bring onto this 11-a-side game is really important.
Well, the National Futsal Super League is kicking off in November, both a men's and women's competition. It's a shorter version of what we've seen in the past, but the impact of futsal on women's football in general has been, I think, had more of an impact actually than perhaps futsal's had in the men's game.
Yeah, there's a lot of girls that cross over into futsal. Such a good game. Van Dort. Pressure by Garcia. Western Springs needs to put the pressure on the back line of Eastern Suburbs, see if they cough something up. Here's Kolpe. Kolpe again. What can she do? Oh. Not quite able to get that one across her body.
That could have got quite interesting if Kolpe had got that right across the right hands of Brooke Bennett. She's away here, and look at the recovery. That's important.
Yeah.
When a player's making a decision about where they're going to go.
Harano couldn't find Innes. Jackson getting past Jervis. Easily into the hands of Tui Samoa.
Well, it's end-to-end stuff now as the play breaks up. Tired minds, tired bodies. And Eastern Suburbs with a commanding 4-1 lead in the Women's National League clash here at Seddon Field.
Ulavili finds Tafaru. Garcia.
Well, a couple of other games coming up this weekend. On Saturday, Capital Football play Canterbury United. Sunday, Auckland United play Central Football, and Northern Rovers are away to Southern United. If they can pick up 3 points there, they will cut the gap between themselves and Western Springs from 8 points to 5 with 6 games left to play.
So Suburbs, Wilfred Carroll off. Jade Paris on. And Aria Blackler off for making way for Kenya Brook. We talked before that Suburbs would probably make some substitutions just to freshen up the legs, especially with Western Springs having some type of ascendancy here and there.
Ira Blackner is away for number 12, Kenya Brook, and also number 4, Charlotte Wilfred Carroll, making the way for number 10, Dave Paris.
Kolpe able to pick up a free kick there. Jervis. Innes. Picked up by Suburbs though. But back into Western Springs. Takeda on her preferred right side.
That'll be good for morale if Western Springs can grab a second goal. Northern Rovers, sorry, if I was going to say, if Northern Rovers can pick up 3 points on Sunday, then now that's only a 5-point gap, and these two teams know each other very, very well. Rovers will feel that there's a little opportunity to maybe catch Western Springs on a dip, because they would have picked up just 1 point out of the last available 9. Albeit against two of those against Eastern Suburbs. Jackson. Benson to her right. Amy Atkins is ranging forward here on the left. Jade Paris is in the box.
Garcia finds Colby. Brooke giving Colby a bit of a ruffling. Paris. Ulavili. A bit of miscommunication there. Benson. Garcia picks it up though, gets them out of danger. As far as Van Dort, Suburbs on the attack. Brooke, hassled by Colby. Colby gets it back, finds Tafaru. What can Tafaru do? Perhaps should have had a shot.
That was a very heavy touch. That's fallen to Devon Jackson. Jade Paris pulling away to the left. Zoe Benson's made a run in behind the fullback. And a disappointing end to what was a promising situation for Eastern Suburbs. Here's Benson though. Western Springs have got themselves into bother. Jackson couldn't quite get past the attentions of Jervis, and Tui Samoa prevents the corner. Brian's given that straight to Pynenberg, but look at that. 84 minutes, made a mistake, went and fixed it, and now ranging in on goal, O'Brien. Oof, not a bad effort. Do you know, when Taylor O'Brien gave that away, that ball was more than a couple of metres away. She then had to go after it.
Yeah, that just shows the fight and grit of Eastern Suburbs. I mean, they're a lovely playing team. They're very complete across all parts of the game, and that's one of them.
Yeah, it's a great description of what we've seen, particularly over the last 7 days. Having the privilege to watch them in action 3 times this week. They are close to a complete side. Oh, look at that.
Takeda. Webster.
Substitution for Western Springs, 10, Sophia Garcia, making way from number 43, Annabelle Webster.
So Sophia Garcia off for Western Springs. Annabelle Webster number 43. Coming in there. Had her first touch of the ball. Taylor O'Brien going straight for goal. Flicks it in. Finds Benson. Oh. Nice little flick there by Taylor O'Brien. Benson not quite able to get over the top of that one. Here comes Western Springs. Trying to find a way through. Perhaps pick up another goal. Innes. Zoe Benson not letting her go anywhere. Mayo.
Oh, she's done
Colby,
well there.
sorry. This is Mayo. Trying to find Tafaru, but cut too far behind her.
And who's back there defending? Devon Jackson. You know, that's what you were talking about. Just a complete all-round team that works hard for each other.
Oh, Takeda. Oh! What a great goal by Takeda. Ball in. She cuts on the inside onto her left foot. Strikes it perfectly into the top left-hand corner. Look at this.
Goal for Western Springs.
What a goal.
Number 12, Marissa Takeda.
Happy with that one. That was a great strike by Takeda. Set herself up so well with that cut in. Beating the defender. Curled it in. Bennett couldn't get to it.
Well, 87 minutes. What happens if Springs score another goal?
It's game on. Yeah, if I
You
was
just never know, Maya.
you don't know. Football's a funny game. Webster doing well to put Jackson off. There she goes again. Lovely little impact by substitution. Webster putting in a bit of grunt, which you need at this point for Western Springs. It's Mayo through to Tafaru. Just a heavy touch by Kolpe. They need to keep Eastern Suburbs in here. Shut them down, don't let them out. But they've been let out. Zoe Benson cutting in. Finds Paris. Well, she had to do that, Webster, because she had Devon Jackson sniffing around there. So corner for Eastern Suburbs. If they score here, it'll be very, very hard for Western Springs to pull anything back. Western Springs has to defend really well. Attack that ball, get it out.
Oof. Hooked away by Takeda. Well, we understand that we're looking at 3 additional minutes, which means there's plenty of time for at least a chance at each end. 1 or 2 chances, perhaps.
Sub for Western Springs. Sam Tafaru coming off. And number 22, Maya Lythe.
Substitution for Western Springs. Number 13, Sam Tafaru. Making way for number 22,
She's got a
Maya
great
Lythe.
name.
Well, 4 minutes of additional time. Plenty of time for another goal. I think if you're a neutral, you might be wanting to see a Western Springs goal just to see what happens.
Benson forging forward. Tui Samoa going long. Colby. Pinenberg finds Takeda. Swings it in, but finds Yoshida. O'Brien turns, facing forward, and only as far as Jervis.
Webster. Jervis hooks it away first time. That's anybody's ball. Taylor O'Brien shrugging off the challenge of Hirano. Yoshida. Brooke for Jackson. Atkins first time pass to Paris. Miscontrolled.
Mayo for Innes. Webster finding Pinenberg, but picks it up again. She's had a good game since she's come on, Webster. She hasn't been on for long, but definitely made an impact.
Yeah, she's been first in most of the challenges she's had.
Eastern Suburbs will take their time with this. Well, look at the pace here by Colby.
Good defending by Rachel Head.
Jackson. Ball through for Atkins, but it'll be cleared up by Jervis. Hindenburg through for Takeda. Gets the cross in. Oh! Maya Lyth just could not step over enough. Maybe if she had a few more inches on her. Lovely cross by Takeda. Just not tall enough.
Brooke Bennett gets her fair share of luck too. As good as goalkeeper as she is, there are little moments in the game where she takes a risk and it's like falling into a river and coming up with a salmon sometimes. Like the defender got in front of her in that cross and then somehow the ball trickles into her arms, or that save she made at one point in the match when she was diving right and then saved with the left hand. There's lucky players and then there's players who make their own luck, and I think she falls into a category of that nature.
O'Brien, a little bit too hard. Tui Samoa will want to hit this one long just to see if they can throw one last effort in.
Well, Riley Greenbury brings to a close a 6-goal game here at Seddon Park. It's been an intriguing watch, as we expected it would be. But it's Eastern Suburbs who retain their 100% record in the National Women's League with a 4-2 triumph over Western Springs. Goals to Charlotte Wilford-Carroll, Devon Jackson on her return, and a double for Taylor O'Brien. But Western Springs had something to say about it in the last section of this game. New Zealand under-17 international Lara Colby made a big impact and scored a goal, and Arisa Takeda scored with 3 minutes to go in the regulated 90. Western Springs now have to look over their shoulder at Southern United's game with Northern Rovers on Sunday. Final score here at Seddon Field, Western Springs 2, Eastern Suburbs 4.
Thank you for physiotherapy, wisdom, painters and renovators, youth count, private care.
So here's how the National Women's League Round 7 looks for this weekend. Western Springs, of course, just beaten 4-2 by Eastern Suburbs. Capital Football in action on Sky Sport Next against Canterbury United tomorrow, and 2 games scheduled for Sunday. Auckland United and Central Football, and the big one really, as far as Western Springs will be concerned, and Northern Rovers, of course, it's Rovers away to Southern United on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Confirmation of the impact of this result on the National Women's League table. Eastern Suburbs played 8, won 8, 34, and 8 against, 24 points. They have a 5-point buffer between themselves and second. Western Springs now looking over their shoulder at Northern Rovers. Southern United may also feel that Sunday's game gives them a chance to cut down Western Springs' lead. Remember, 2 go through to the National Women's League Grand Final, scheduled for mid-December. Well, what a start to the weekend. Plenty of domestic football coming your way in the National Women's League and the Men's National League Championship. On behalf of my friend and your friend, Maya Jackman, thank you for joining us. I'm Gordon Glenn Watson, and we'll see you again next time.